afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Boca Goes Live. I'm Maurice Speed. I'm editor of Boca and Del Rey magazines. And today I have with me John Makris. He's a board member of the Hanley Foundation. And you know this face, State Attorney Dave Aronberg, who's with us. He's traveling, but graciously agreed to stop in the middle of everything he's doing in DC and chat with us. The Hanley Foundation, as most of you know, is dedicated to stopping addiction before it starts. And one of its signature fundraising events is coming right up, which is the Brice Makris lunch and that brunch, and that's what we're talking about today. But I thought, John, you might want to tell us what is that brunch and tell us about your story.
Sure. My son Brice, when he was 23 years old, just a few months, 7 months out of college, passed away from a fentanyl overdose. He had been through treatment previously and was in recovery, but had a relapse, which unfortunately is an expected thing in a recovery. Brice, though, was a very empathetic young man and part of the recovery community. As a part of the recovery community, wanted to serve them through his life and save 100 men and women through his work. And unfortunately, he didn't get to fulfill that dream. So we made it his legacy and our mission. And we wanted to show that substance use disorder isn't a matter of bad behavior or bad people. It's a matter of people with a substance use disorder, a recognized disease, and they need our support. And so we started the Brice Makris annual brunch. Last year was our first year at Boca West, and it was phenomenally successful. And Dave was gracious and acted as our co-chairman last year, as well as this year. And we're at Boca West again. And we hope to raise dollars as well as a lot of friends, and we call them the Friends of Brice. We want the support dollar-wise, but we also want the support in the community to forward this issue.
I'm amazed that so soon after your son's death, you've embarked on this journey. I mean, you retired. You're like all in this whole thing to raise awareness. And I wanted Dave to talk about why he's such a big supporter of this event in Hanley, and maybe talk a little about how substance abuse is doing in our county right now.
Yeah, you know, I've been working on the opioid epidemic for much of my career, since I was an assistant attorney general investigating Purdue Pharma, and then a state senator and drug czar for the attorney general's office. But when I became state attorney, focused on a different part of it, and that was the corruption in the drug treatment and sober home industries, which was killing people who were seeking help. And when you're talking about Hanley, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, they're a model for treatment, and you can't arrest your way out of an opioid epidemic. You can't arrest your way out of a fentanyl epidemic. You've got to have a holistic approach that includes quality, ethical treatment. And so that's what this is about. And when you go to this brunch, it is remarkable. There's so much energy and love in that room, and it takes the lead from the top. The Makris family has done so much, and Brice's memory is honored by the lives that are being saved every day because of the generosity of the Makris family of Hanley and the members of the community.
Right.
We appreciate that a lot. I'd also like to say why Hanley supports David Aronberg so much. And as he said, you know, the work he's been involved in through the years has been really just instrumental in helping this situation, especially here in Palm Beach County, where it's been so bad. It's been, they say, it's the center of the epidemic. So his work has been really incredible.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, we've been ground zero for opioid epidemic and all the lousy sober homes and all that crazy stuff now for a number of years. I know that things are changing, but Hanley sounds like absolutely a wonderful place. What does the money raised from the luncheon do? Where does it go?
Every dollar from the luncheon will go towards scholarships. There are a lot of people in need of treatment that can't afford treatment. They call Hanley, and if we place them on a scholarship, and those scholarships also extend into recovery. So we have a program, an any length recovery program, because it doesn't just all end at the end of treatment. You know, a lot of support is needed following up the initial treatment. So we are also very active, as you mentioned, prevention. We have prevention programs in schools in 32 counties throughout the state. So if you can stop the problem before it starts, of course, that's the best you can do. But the dollars from the brunch will go towards scholarships for those in need.
Interesting. What would the two of you, what kind of advice would you give parents or families or friends when it comes to spotting these problems and then addressing them?
You know, we talked to a lot of folks, and it's just the toughest issue. It really is. But I would suggest to be very close to those people that you care about, that you feel might have a problem. And this attacks especially young people, #1 killer of young people. And to be close and to give them that support is really important. It's a frustrating thing sometimes, but you really have to stick with them. So family is very important. Support's very important. So that's the #1 thing I would suggest, and also to be aware, to talk to your kids. And also, one thing that we've done is to encourage young people to come forward when a friend of theirs has a problem. You know, nobody really spoke up in Brice's case, and I think unfortunately that's the case in so many of these tragic overdoses. And it's great, but after we started on this voyage, a lot of Brice's friends call us, and if they have a friend that's having a problem, and they let us know, which is a great thing. And then we intercede in any way we can. But you know, to be open, to know what's going on, and not to assume that no, not my kid, because this knows no barriers.
I gather that. Dave, have you seen a tremendous uptick in this kind of problem in our county last couple of years with kids?
Well, the opioid epidemic started out as an OxyContin epidemic. It was created by corporate malfeasance and professional greed. I'm looking at you, Purdue Pharma, where no one has ever served jail time from Purdue Pharma. And that's another story. But then it morphed into oxycodone, which was a generic version. And then it morphed after we shut down the pill mills to heroin. And now it's a fentanyl epidemic. Today's opioid epidemic is about fentanyl. And 95% of the opioid overdose deaths in our county involve fentanyl. And so that is the thing to keep your eye on. The problem is there's no way to detect whether someone's drugs contains fentanyl. You could have someone smoking marijuana. And we've unfortunately had this where there's marijuana spiked with fentanyl. Marijuana, a drug that's largely decriminalized and legal in many cases, could contain fentanyl and kill you. And the state legislature had a chance to do something about it by legalizing these fentanyl test strips, which are just this cheap, inexpensive way to check to see if the drugs contain fentanyl, but they voted against it. And so hopefully that will change this coming year. We have seen a large rise in fentanyl. In this past few months, we've seen a decrease in the number of drug overdose deaths in our county. And I think that's a positive. When we had COVID, when this community was facing COVID in a big way, that number went way up because you had less counseling, less group counseling, and the rise of fentanyl. But now you're with counseling starting to reopen more and more. and you see now a decrease in the number of opioid overdose deaths, a decrease in the number of drug overdose deaths in our community, but still you're seeing an increase in fentanyl deaths, and that's the thing to keep an eye on.
Okay. Yikes, that's a lot to think about, but one step at a time. Let's get back to the event. How can we go to this event? What are the details? It's December 11th, I think.
The
you
event
said,
will
at Boca
be-
West?
Yep, it will be at Boca West. It will be December 11th from 11 to 2. It will be, well, easiest way to go online to the hanleyfoundation.org, and you could register there. It's $150 a ticket. It will be a fabulous event. Last year was, I can't tell you how just so heartfelt it was last year. And our grandchild was born on that day that we had the
Wow.
first annual Brice Makris picnic. So we were in heaven. So it was a great day, and I think this year is going to be even bigger and better. So I encourage everybody to come out. Like I said, all the dollars go to supporting the fight against the opioid epidemic. As Dave said, the fentanyl epidemic. Brice passed away from a fentanyl overdose, and he didn't mean to die, as so many don't. But fentanyl, 2 milligrams of fentanyl can kill you. So we're going to spend the dollars on treatment and recovery and save as many lives as we can.
Well, I can't thank the two of you enough for being here with us, and I applaud you on your wonderful work in this area. I wish you great success at the event, and I hope
Thank you.
everybody watching this gets to go. And
I hope
I
so.
wish you both just a great time there and a wonderful holiday season. And thank you so much again for sitting down with us.
Thank you, Marie. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
Thanks,
hey,
Steve.
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All righty, happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Take care.